Monica, I just heard about you from your dad. You're going to be able to come back home today, right?
And so what? It's my family's house, so I can go there whenever I please. And I don't need your guys' permission to be able to live there for a while, right?
Well, if you're just coming over to say hi for a bit, then I won't say a thing. But for some reason, I think the reason you're coming is to get more money? Your dad's already been through enough at this point, so can you please give it up already?
The one that's been going through enough has been me. Ever since you guys started living with my dad, nothing has been a problem for you all. And perhaps that's the reason I haven't been getting any money from him.
Well, maybe it has to do with the fact that you're old enough now to be supporting yourself. So please stop coming over here and trying to get more money out of him. You've already gotten a lot from him, so you should be good now, right?
Huh? That has nothing to do with what's happening now, though. I'm getting close to having to pay off my debt, and it's because of you two that my dad hasn't come around to giving me any money yet. If I'm not able to pay off my debts because of you two getting in the way, what am I going to do?
You're in debt? Have you been borrowing money or something again? Weren't you able to pay off all your debts last time with the help of your dad?
Well, I happen to take out even more money. You should know that once you've paid off one debt, you're bound to make another. If I don't borrow money, I'll never be able to afford the things I love.
That isn't a good enough reason to be going that far into debt all the time, though. By taking out money all the time like that, you're creating more problems than if you just lived without everything you wanted to have. Are you not worried about how this affects everyone else?
You just keep going on, don't you? The money that I borrow has nothing to do with you, Jasmine, so stop talking to me like you're my dad or something.
Well, if it has nothing to do with me, then it shouldn't with your dad, right? So this time, pay it all off yourself.
Huh? I'm the daughter of my dad. And when it comes to his daughter getting into debt, that also becomes his debt. Stop acting like it has nothing to do with him, would you? So stupid.
I don't think that's how it works, though. Even if you are related to each other as father and daughter, you are old enough now where your problems should be handled by you.
Then why are you both taking care of my dad while he's gotten old? If his problems have nothing to do with others in the family, then he should be able to handle himself, right? Or can he not do that anymore?
What's going on with you and what's going on with him are two different things. And when it comes to the care that your dad is receiving, he is paying for it all by himself. So, just like the adult he is, he's making sure to handle his own problems with the tools he has.
What the heck? I never knew that he was paying for all that. Well, if he has that much money to be throwing around, then that means you and my brother are practically living there for free. That is disgusting of you guys.
Well, the only money that he's handing out right now is that of which is paying for him to be taken care of. Paying for the house nurse to come check on him and paying for the travel to the hospital when he needs to go. But to make sure that he's financially okay, Tony is in charge of his dad's checkbook. When it comes to him and I, though, your dad doesn't give us anything. We make sure to pay for the house and everything ourselves.
You say that, but I'm sure you're just staying quiet and using his money secretly. You and Tony are some sneaky rats. You say you're living there for Dad's sake, but I know you're both just in it for the money.
You're very much wrong about that. Now stop trying to make either one of us look bad.
Ugh, you both have it so easy. By living with him, you can just buy whatever you want without having to worry about money. I want some of that money as well.
But I told you it's not like that here. Now, would you stop acting like a child?
Say whatever you want about yourselves, but I know that you're both lying. Ugh. Well, if it's going to be like that, I wonder if Dad could just kick the can sooner rather than later for me. If that were to happen now, I'd be able to get whatever money comes out of him.
I don't care how vile of a person you are. You cannot say something like that about your own dad. If he heard you say that, he'd be beyond upset with you.
Well, it's on him for not giving his cute daughter any more money. That must mean he's not fit to be my father anymore. But if he doesn't want to give me anything, that's fine. But his death will be what he gets for doing this to me.
For the time being, will you stop thinking about trying to take his money? Neither Tony or I nor your dad are in the mood to talk about things like that with you today, so zip it!
All right. I'll try and do my best to keep quiet. Hey, Jasmine, did you know about that?
Know about what? What are you talking about right now?
You know exactly what I'm asking about right now. Why am I not going to be getting any of my dad's inheritance?
What the heck are you talking about, Michelle? I'm sorry, but I've heard nothing about your dad's will or anything like that. So what exactly do you mean by saying you're not going to get any of his inheritance?
It's in his will. I was just in his room and I found it. And written in it is him saying that all of his properties will be given to Tony.
Hold on just a moment. When you say you were in your dad's room looking around, does that mean right now?
I just told you that I found it, so of course I'm in here right now.
But right now, Tony, your dad and I are all out of that house and nobody's there, right? So you went in there without asking any of us?
And what does it matter that I let myself in? Right now, we need to talk about the will. I want to know what the hell is going on here.
It does matter that you let yourself in, though. No matter whether you think it's okay or not to walk into your parents' house, if they didn't say you could, then that is breaking and entering. And not only that, but you've rummaged through his room. Even if we're your family, there are limits to what you can do around us.
Oh, stop being such a little prick. I came to get some money and nobody was here, so I had no other choice at that point.
And so, in other words, you're saying you came to the house to get more of Dad's money? That's not acceptable.
But I told you that it doesn't matter now. The problem right now is that I am not written anywhere in his will. You're with my dad right now, aren't you? Where are all of you?
We're at the hospital. Ever since this morning, your dad's health has gone far downhill. We even tried to give you a few calls, right?
You called me? I never remember seeing that.
We called you at least 4 times. But you never decided to pick up the phone or give us a call back, so we all went in without you. Right now, your dad is in really bad shape. And we are starting to think that it's his time.
Huh? But if that happens, I'll be in trouble. If he's planning on dying, have him take this will and fix it so that my name's in here too.
I don't think this is the time to be asking for something like that from him. Right now, he's with Tony getting a few tests run on him. But we are well aware that things could not end well for your dad.
And that's why you need to tell that bag that before things get worse, he needs to fix his will. Where's the hospital you're at? I'm going to come there right away, so tell me.
I don't feel like telling you.
Huh? You're not even related to us by blood, so what do you think you're doing by saying that? This is not the time to be keeping me away from my dad and brother.
But if you come here, all you'll care about is money and that will, right? Even though he's too weak right now to listen to you. If you start talking to him about all of that, he might just die because of you.
I don't care about any of that. Now, stop pestering me and tell me where the hospital is right now. If you don't let me get there before he passes away, what am I going to do?
Understood. I'll tell you the location of the hospital, but you better come quick. But when you get here, I don't want you saying a word about wanting money and all that crap.
Why are you trying to call me so much right now? Aren't you supposed to be pretty busy right now?
Don't ask me that like you don't already know why I'm calling now. I want to ask you where you might have run off to. Right now, we are in the middle of the funeral and you're not here.
I'm sorry. I had some things that I needed to attend to.
And you're telling me that there are things you have to do more important than being at your dad's funeral? There should be nothing besides this funeral that you have to attend to right now.
Well, that depends on the person, right? Also, I never actually thought that my dad would kick the can that early. The fact that he was already dead by the time I got to the hospital was a real letdown. I was never able to get him to correct his will for me, so I have some things to take care of now.
I remember you talking about that, but at this point, that doesn't need to matter to you. All you need to be thinking about is your dad and his funeral, so hurry up and get back here. All the rest of your family and friends are waiting for you to come back.
Nope, I'm not coming back now. I have a lot of things to work on now and things like that.
What are you even talking about? Hurry up and get back here right now!
No, thank you. At first, when you had called me, I started to panic a bit, but still seems that even after all this time, you haven't figured out what I'm up to.
What do you mean I haven't figured out what you're up to yet? What is going on with you?
I'm talking about my dad's checkbook and bank information, and both of those are in my hands right now.
Huh? His checkbook and bank information? You're talking about Dad's?
That's right, Dad's. Hey, I told you back then what was written in his will, right? I said that all his properties would go to Tony.
I do remember you saying that, but could this mean that by some chance you're actually planning to pull all his money out by yourself?
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing. And actually, I've already pulled all his money out. Everything in his bank account is now mine. Thank goodness I was able to get all of this out before his bank account was frozen.
What the hell do you think you're doing? Do you not even understand what can happen to you for doing something like that?
Nothing's going to happen to me, Jasmine. This is all happening within the family, so when you try and ask the police for help, they'll just say we have to deal with it as family business. And since I knew that he didn't have me in his will, I had to look into all this more.
Even if that could be the case, there is a line between doing good and doing bad, right? No matter how upset you are for not being in his will, what you've just done is a major crime.
Yeah, I get that it's difficult to be on the short end of the stick. And I understand how frustrating it must be to know that you won't be getting any of my dad's inheritance, but it's too late now to do anything.
Stop acting like a freaking idiot and give us all that money back now! Right now, we're already having to deal with the loss of your dad at his funeral. Are you not freaking embarrassed by what all you've done while the rest of your family is in mourning?
I just pulled out all his money, so I don't care if what I've done is embarrassing. And also, no matter what you all call me and say to me, it's too late. I'm going to make sure to use up all this money right now. And by the time you all find me, it'll once again be too late.
You're going to use up all that money soon? How are you going to be able to do that in such short time?
Do you not understand how much debt I have right now? I'll put most of this money into paying off all that debt, and then the rest will go into buying all the things that I've been wanting. And I even am making sure to buy things that I don't want now, but may want down the line. But most of this I've already prepared myself for because I knew this day would be coming. So you can say goodbye to all this money.
That's not the problem. I'm saying that what you're doing is very wrong.
Even if you can get the police to come find me, I haven't committed any crimes by doing this, so nothing about what I've done so far is wrong. If you understand me now, you and all the rest of the family can go back to watching the funeral and crying. I'll let you know when I've spent everything, okay? Bye-bye now. Hello, Jasmine. How are you doing? I just used up all the money, so I'm sure you're not doing too great.
Monica, you really had the nerve to never come back to your dad's funeral, huh? I'm sure your dad is really sad now.
My dad's dead now. He can't feel sad for anything if he's no longer around, you idiot. You think too much about dead people.
Maybe it's just because I had a deep relationship with your dad all these years, but he was never my real dad. However, for you, he was the man that worked with your mom to give birth to you and raised you. Aren't you at least a bit sad that he's no longer around?
Yes. Oh, I'm so sad. Anyway, I have something else to tell you. I made sure to use every last penny of my dad's inheritance. And there's nothing left now to hand to you and Tony. Bad luck this time.
I can't believe it. What the hell did you even think of your dad?
Shut the hell up, you dog. What does it matter now? He's already dead and 6 feet under, so we can stop worrying about him. But please tell me, has losing all the money that was meant for you guys made your heart stop? I'm sure you're pretty much dead inside as well now, right?
Well, when it comes to his money, I don't care. But just to entertain you, you ended up using it all, huh? You're in for one hell of a time now, Monica. You poor soul.
Huh? Why are you still trying to act all tough still? Have you gone off the deep end now that the money's all gone?
No, we'll be getting our money.
Wait, what are you even saying? Did I not tell you that it's all used up? Are you actually so shocked by this that you can't even understand my English?
Oh, I understood everything you told me. But the amount you ended up spending was only the amount he had in that one bank account, correct?
And that was all the money he had for me, right? There is no money for him to give anymore. I get that there's his house and stuff left over, but in terms of money, he's all out, right?
That money that you spent was the money he had saved for you. Your dad happened to have multiple bank accounts where he kept money for different purposes.
What are you talking about? In his will, it said everything would go to Tony, right? So there was no reason for him to have money saved up for me.
The will you found in his nightstand drawer was an old copy of his will. But when Tony found out that he wanted to give him everything, he turned him down. So your dad ended up making a new will and then had that one taken away with the lawyer he had.
Tony turned that down? Is that kid a freaking idiot or something as well?
He thought that if he got everything from your guys' dad, then you might try and fight him over it. And so, Tony thought it would be better to give you some things.
That's not what I expected, but... So you're saying that I didn't have to go through all of this for my part of his money? Well, that doesn't matter now, because the money I spent is all gone.
During the wedding, everyone was having a laugh about you. They were practically crying because of how amusing it was that you'd steal your own money. And now, because of that, you've brought a lot more trouble on yourself for no reason.
Huh? What? I was going to get that money anyway, so what other trouble could I have made for myself?
When it comes to the checkbook and bank information you took, those were supposed to be taken care of by Tony. And you ended up stealing those before the lawyer had legally granted you the money in your dad's account.
But this all has to do with business inside our family, so it doesn't really matter now, right? The police can't do a thing about this, right?
Whether or not the police can do anything about you, there is still the court system. And even if you only spent the amount that was supposed to go to you, there is the problem of you stealing something that wasn't yours. And right now, Tony is telling me he'll sue you for that.
Huh? Sue me? You have to be kidding me!
If you would have just let things be, then none of this would have to happen. I really do feel so sorry for you, Monica. Consider this your apology to your dad, so make sure you pay everything you'll owe to Tony. After that, Tony decided he had enough. He had spent years watching his sister Monica spiral further into deceit and manipulation, but this was the breaking point. When their father passed away, Tony had expected the situation to be difficult, perhaps a little tense, given the usual family dynamics, but he never imagined it would escalate to this level. Monica had always been difficult, but she'd crossed a line this time. The way she had gone about things, stealing the checkbook and the bank information from their dad's account, then taking every penny she could before it had even been legally transferred to her, was a betrayal that Tony couldn't ignore. The fact that she did all this behind his back, knowing full well it was wrong, only made it worse. It wasn't just about money anymore. It was about trust, family, and respect. Tony was heartbroken. He couldn't believe that his sister, the same person who had grown up beside him, sharing the same memories, the same values, had become someone capable of this kind of manipulation. She had no problem taking advantage of their father's vulnerability, and he couldn't allow that to stand. Tony knew he had to take action. It wasn't just about the money. He had to send a message that this kind of behavior would not be tolerated. Not in their family, and certainly not at the expense of their father's legacy. The court case was inevitable. Monica didn't seem to think that her actions would have serious repercussions. She acted as if it was all just a matter of convenience for her, that the money was hers to take, simply because she was the one closest to their father in the final months of his life. But what she failed to understand was that her actions were far from innocent. She had stolen from a man who could no longer defend himself, from a family that had already been through enough hardship. That's when Tony made his move. He took his sister to court, and he wasn't going to let her get away with it. The legal proceedings were tense. The courtroom, a place Tony had never thought he would have to visit for something like this, was now the setting for the most personal battle of his life. Monica's defense was weak, almost laughable. She tried to claim that she had only taken the money out of the account to take care of things until the estate could be properly settled. But Tony's attorney had all the evidence they needed. They had traced the withdrawals, and it was clear she had drained the account long before the legalities were in place for her to do so. It wasn't just negligence, it was theft. It was calculated, planned, and executed with no regard for the consequences. When the verdict came down, Monica's face paled. Tony could see it, the weight of her actions finally sinking in. The judge ordered that Monica pay Tony a significant settlement. The amount was far more than she could have ever expected. Not only was she required to pay back every penny she had stolen from their father's account, but she was also held responsible for the emotional distress, the trouble, and the legal fees that came from the ordeal. The settlement was large, almost overwhelmingly so, and Tony could see the fear in her eyes as the implications of the decision started to hit her. Monica wasn't just losing money, she was losing the ability to live the life she had hoped to maintain. The money that she had thought would set her up for a future of comfort and security was now going to be used to pay for her own mistakes. The settlement was structured in such a way that it would be almost impossible for her to recover financially anytime soon. And the worst part, the sum wasn't even as much as she had hoped to inherit from their father. The amount she had been expecting from his estate had been far less than the settlement, and with the interest on her debt, she was left with nothing but a mountain of bills and a tarnished reputation. Tony knew that Monica's financial troubles were just the beginning. She had always been someone who thought the world owed her something, but now the world was coming to collect. As much as he wanted to feel vindicated, he couldn't help but feel a sense of sorrow for what his sister had become. She had brought this upon herself, yes, but the fact that she was now suffering was a reflection of how deep her greed and desperation had taken root. She had made choices, and now those choices were coming back to haunt her. The settlement was one thing, but the fallout in the family was another. Monica had always been the type to cause trouble and stir up drama. But this time, it felt different. She had crossed a line that she couldn't uncross, and Tony knew that there was no going back from this. The relationship, whatever semblance of it had remained, was now officially shattered. The trust between them was gone, and he couldn't see a way forward where they could rebuild what had been lost. Monica had made her bed, and now she was forced to lie in it. Tony thought about their father, about the kind of man he had been. He had always tried to teach them both the importance of integrity, of doing what was right even when it was hard. Monica had once believed in those lessons, but somewhere along the way, she had abandoned them. Tony couldn't help but feel disappointed in her. She had taken the easy path, the path of greed and self-interest, and now she was paying the price. As for Monica, she didn't seem to understand the full gravity of her situation. She was still focused on the money, on the idea that if she could just pay off the settlement, maybe things would go back to normal. But things weren't going to go back to normal. She had burned too many bridges, not just with Tony, but with everyone who had once trusted her. The damage she had done to her relationship with their father, even in death, was irreversible. There was no taking back what she had done. And as much as she may have wanted to pretend everything was fine, the truth was plain for everyone to see. Tony, however, wasn't done yet. He couldn't just let her off the hook, not after everything she had done. There were so many people she had wronged. So many relationships she had broken. His goal wasn't just to make her pay financially. He wanted her to understand the full extent of her actions. He needed her to see that this wasn't just about the money. It was about the damage she had caused to their family, the hurt she had inflicted on their mother, and the disrespect she had shown to everyone who had ever cared for her. Tony wasn't seeking vengeance. What he wanted was for Monica to take responsibility, for her to realize that the pain she had caused was far greater than any amount of money she could ever steal. And so, as Monica struggled with the overwhelming debt and the repercussions of her actions, Tony's hope was that someday she would reflect on everything she had done, acknowledge the hurt she had caused, and, most importantly, apologize to those she had wronged. The settlement was a painful lesson, but in the end, it was one that had to be learned. If nothing else, Tony hoped that Monica's future would be shaped by this experience, that it would force her to confront her flaws and, perhaps, to change. Whether she would truly change, only time would tell.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.